If you watched our last episode, you'll know that we managed to pick up a Porsche Cayenne S Hybrid for our Lemon to Lambo challenge, but it did come with a few unfortunate problems.
If you're new to the Lemon to Lambo challenge, it's where me and James flip from car to car to eventually get that Lamborghini.
Fingers crossed.
Last
time you left off, you would have seen that we picked up a Porsche Cayenne S Hybrid. We did.
Yep.
And it had some problems. So, going into it, if you've watched the video, you'll know that it was was misfiring when we picked it up and when we bought it. There's a couple of air suspension problems, and that's it actually. Yeah, so a couple of little problems. The misfiring one though was definitely one that we wanted to tackle first and try and knock back as soon as possible. So I was a little too eager and just delved straight into the Cayenne. Started trying to diagnose what the misfire was and why it was misfiring. Basically, an engine needs three things to work. It needs an ignition source, in this case it's the spark plugs coil packs. It needs a fuel source, which is the air actually. The fuel's the fuel. The petrol is the combustive, yeah. Anyway, it needs those two things. It needs fuel, air, spark, or ignition source. So I dived straight in and we went to the most easiestly able to be diagnosed to see if it was a fault, and that was the ignition side of things with the spark plugs and the coil packs. Swapped around some coil packs, finding out where was the misfire, switching those coil packs with ones that we knew good. We knew that one side of the engine was working fine, the other side had two misfires on it. So after swapping the coil packs, didn't really do much. So I thought, stuff it, we'll just get all the coil packs and spark plugs on one side, put them on the good side and vice versa. When we did that, the problem then jumped. So we knew straight away there is something wrong with the ignition source of the combustion cycle on that side of the engine. So easiest point of call is spark plugs, and that's what we are doing today. We are going to get a set of 6 Bosch spark plugs, the OEM ones, the ones that come in this entry from the factory, and we're going to throw them in and hopefully that solves our misfire. So we have put in all of the new spark plugs. So we've got brand new spark plugs across all of the cylinders in this Cayenne. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the scan tool. We are going to clear all the error codes previously from when we were diagnosing what the problem was. We're going to start it up and fingers crossed it's the spark plugs. If not, then it's just the coil packs. All right, codes are clear. Moment of truth. Seems to be a lot smoother, but we'll see when the engine RPM dies a little. I think we've done it. It'd normally be misfiring by now. We currently have nothing. I think we literally picked up this Cayenne with some bad spark plugs. RPM's going down. Perfect. That's it. That's all it was. Misfires or some spark plugs. So, amazingly, the spark plugs did it. Like, it's unbelievable now.
Yeah.
Um,
I think a lot of the time as well, it is just simple problems.
yeah.
Sometimes, you know, it's easy
Well,
to overthink it, but
in the case of the Audi, it wasn't. Which, funnily enough,
Yeah.
is very similar engines.
hey, what was that? Alternator?
No, that was,
what was
the injector clogged.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yes, a brand new set of spark plugs solved the Porsche's misfiring. I did show the spark plugs in the video, you probably would have seen. They were pretty cruddy and pretty old, so there's a very good chance that they have never been replaced.
Or for at least a long time.
For at least a long time. So normally it's replaced, what, every 100,000 Ks?
Spark plugs.
Yeah.
It's like 50. Is it more frequent than
50.
that? I
So
don't know.
it should have gone through 3 sets of spark plugs. But they look very old. So that's very good news for us, especially budget-wise. We just had to buy 6 spark plugs, which actually wasn't that bad. Next up, though, we do have to tackle the suspension. And now that the car is running flawlessly, there was a gremlin pop up now that it's actually running. And we did kind of see it as we were diagnosing it, and that is because we did so many kind of swapping oil packs. When I say we, I mean me. Swap coil packs over, accessories, check it, start it, all that kind of stuff. The battery's taken a bit of a hit, and I feel like the battery from the outset was pretty how you're going and pretty haggard as well. So I think we're gonna have to either try and rejuvenate this battery and or replace it. If we end up having to do that, you guys will get to see the worst spot to put a battery in a car. As much as I love Porsche, they're freaking stupid. So there is a gremlin that has popped up. There's been a code for a transmission oil pump not liking it. Something to do with the stop-start system. Basically, from what I've been able to research, it's generally your battery's on its way out. And we're also seeing the radio is going into voltage protection mode, so it's like trying to limit and save itself from dying and getting low voltage. So I think we do have a battery on its way out. We'll see if we can rejuvenate it. If you don't see a video from us, then you'll know that we were able just to rejuvenate it and it's worked fine. Or we have to buy a battery for the Porsche, which it's not the cheapest things in the world, these batteries, and they're quite annoying to get to. But we took a punt. When I say we, I mean me. Took a gamble. Looks like so far, fingers crossed, touch wood, it's paying off.
Yep.
And I think we could be in for a decent payday if we can sell it. So thanks heaps for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our challenge. And we'll see you in the next episode where we tackle the air suspension, or if the battery can't fix itself, we do the battery.
Yep.
See you guys in the next episode.